I'm excited to be here to talk about the team. Obviously, we've had a good start. What I've been proud about is that we've had different players play different roles because of some injuries and get player different experience. And obviously, we had a loss against Florida State, who was ranked #1 at the time. But I think we learned a lot from that game coming away in overtime, losing 1-0 to those guys. So I'm excited about our group. Mostly because of just youthfulness, but our ability for players to step up in roles and gain experience early in the season. I think it's going to help us later on in our Big Ten season.
Questions for Paula? Jay?
Do overtime games make your team grow up faster?
It gets me more gray hair, I think, and I don't sleep as well. But I do. I think the one thing that I've been happy about, the 2 wins this past weekend, we scored early in the first overtime. So one of the conversations that we'll have is, like, why aren't we playing with that intensity earlier in the game? And what I've seen in a lot of the video is that we get more focused at that point. So we're going to use that as a learning tool, that we need to bring that intensity at the beginning of the game and not wait to the very end. Because I think there's a confidence in the team that they're going to win because of the experiences they had last year in the NCAA.
Brian?
With all that you accomplished a year ago, what did you expect from this year's squad going in?
I think the biggest thing is that we would be able to kind of build on the experience that we had there. We have about 8 returning starters. So the confidence that they got in going to the Sweet 16 and losing to Stanford in the Sweet 16 by 1 goal and only giving up 4 shots. I felt that we would be able to start this season a little bit further than we have in past seasons, because we've had players who've been in clutch situations back. I think the injuries have kind of put us on our back heel again to kind of reorganize. But you'll see the players who have provided us really important goals last year are back at it again. So Danny Rhodes, Lauren Rice, and Cami Murtha. And, you know, a new person who did a lot last year was Jordan McNeese. So those older players last year who created those goals to get us to the Sweet 16 are coming through again early in the season.
You mentioned Danny Rhodes. Where has she improved as her career has moved along?
You know, the biggest thing about Danny is that, and I told her this the other day, I don't know if there's any other player on the team who wants to win that bad. She's extremely competitive. She's battled through some injuries. You know, in the offseason, she had to take some time off to deal with some injuries. But she's a natural-born goal scorer. She has a knack to be around. When she scored against UCF, she was just in the right place at the right time. And you find that good goal scorers do that. And I think she's just kind of finding herself in those spots more and more often to create those, and been very good in finishing when she had to, so not missing the goal and keeping things on frame. So that's where she's grown.
Coach, in a game like yesterday, how important was it to see from your team the way they responded, you know, with the Butler goalie playing really well, some pretty open goals missed late that could have kind of really put your team down, but then you see Murtha step up in the 95th minute, but just overall how they responded, letting up an early goal and then taking it in the overtime?
I think there's a confidence with this team. One, sort of defensive off the run of play. We haven't given them many shots off the run of play. I think the set piece, obviously, we have to go back and reevaluate how we're going to do. But I think even when Butler scored that goal, I think there was a confidence in the team that they're going to score. And I think it goes back to the experience of having Cami and Lauren as juniors and Danny as a senior and Jordan McNeese as a senior. I think it just kind of, there's a quiet confidence about them that even if they give up a goal, it's going to come. And we talked about that. We just have to be more patient. I think early in the game, we were kind of snatching at things that we didn't need to. And I think it's actually really going to help us in the long run here when we get into the Big Ten, because you know, little things that we could do a little bit better to try to create those opportunities and not miss. I think they're going to learn from this, watching the video, and get better.
Brian?
Jordan Bloomer had a very nice season a year ago. Is she even better, do you foresee, this season?
I thought in the UCF game she was fantastic. She continues to work on her game management, but in terms of shot stopping, she's probably one of the best in the country. And in UCF, we needed to have that early on, and she brought that. And I just think she's going to keep evolving. We're excited to have her for this year and then the next year also. I think when you have an experienced goalkeeper in net who is athletic as she is, can use her feet just as well as she can, it makes you a little bit more confident as a coach, especially when you're going into overtime, because you know she's going to be able to make that big save.
Brian?
I don't know if you can quantify what Rose Lavelle was able to do with the World Cup, and if that gave your program at all a shot in the arm.
Well, of course, and I think there's two things, is that it's nice that the media keeps saying Wisconsin, right? So they know where she came from. But, you know, we have recruits calling us and talking to us saying, I want to be the next Rose Lavelle. And I hope they see that the development that she had here really helped her to get to that next level. And, you know, it's pretty amazing as a coach that you get to sit and watch the World Cup game and see a player that you worked with for 4 years be defined as one of the best players in the world. You know, she won the bronze ball, and I think some people would argue that maybe should have been a little higher. But incredible to see what she could do for the United States. And for me, she is such a great ambassador for Wisconsin and Wisconsin athletics. You know, every time I talk to her, she said that Madison is like home to her. Obviously, Cincinnati is her first home, but I think she finds a wonderful experience that she had here, but she really enjoys being here in Madison when she gets the opportunity to be here. But she's also such a great person. So, you know, if you want your kids to be, or your daughters or sons to have a good role model, I think people who spent time with Rose here at Wisconsin, you know, it couldn't happen to a better person in terms of that. And I think her growth is only going to get better. You know, when I talk to her, she says that she can only get better, and I agree with that. So one World Cup, and she wins the bronze ball, and I think she wants the U.S. to do even more. So I think when that happens and she's attached to it, she'll make it better. So she'll be better from there.